There is a house of cards. The Merlin. Blackness moving through the walls. There's danger. The table's shaking. Houses of cards tend to fall. Welcome back, everyone, to episode 2 of Smoke and Mirrors, our game of Wizard Springs, a one-page RPG by me, M. Hubbard. I will be the GM for this game, and joining me today are Pan.
Hello, I'm Pan, and I will be playing King Gizzard, the Lizard Wizard.
Wonderful. And Tanya.
Hello, everybody. Tanya Lashia. I'm playing Ryse. No last name.
Also known as Hypno Boy.
Yeah.
All right. And Static.
Hi. I will be playing Marie Belle, or as she thinks she's better known, Illusionista.
Maybe she is better known as Illusionista by now.
We'll see.
We'll find out. So our last game took place in the year 1985. Today we will be rejoining our ragtag band of magicians in the year 2005. So everyone is 20 years older, maybe wiser, maybe not, who knows. We'll start off, I'll have you say a little bit about kind of what the interceding time span has been like for your character. But I also wanted to say, if you want to change your specialty here, you can. The thing that you do in your magician shows. If there's something that you feel like you might have shifted into, if you want to just make a random roll again, you can do that. I mean, it's been 20 years, so you don't have to be doing the same thing. Or you can just leave it the same if you want to. I was debating whether to have you roll again on the This Year's Convention is Important Because table. But I decided I'm actually just going to keep the same 3 results y'all got last time, but switch them so they'll apply to other characters. So we will get to that. Also, if you want to move your points in your traits around, you can do that. If you feel like you're not as smart, but you're a little stronger 20 years later, or vice versa, you can, you're not just plain like adding anything, but you can like move the points. And if you feel like you've been doing a lot of unadvisable magic, you're welcome to move points into magic as well from your other traits. So just some things to think about. Let me start actually with This Year's Convention is Important because I think that'll be a good jumping off point, and then we can talk about kind of where you are in your lives. So the 3 results last time were Ryse embarrassed himself the previous year in 1984. For Giz, someone close to him died the previous year. That was, of course, Queen Blizzard, his wife and magic partner. And for Illusionista, she had a terrible premonition. This year, someone close to Illusionista died last year. And I'm not going to ask you who it was because I know who it was. So my question for you is, in the past 20 years, how did you become close with Louis Lux, the East Coast traditional magician whose pyrotechnics you were messing around with in the last game?
Louis, that's tragic.
Yeah.
I think I think they fell out of contact immediately following the escapades of last session. But then Marie Bell eventually got into private investigation and ended up finding out that Lewis's partner was giving trade secrets to some of his competitors. And she told Lewis about that.
Oh, interesting. Who was Lewis's partner?
Let's say her name was Annabelle, and she kept trying to convince him that they needed to do a stage duo called Hocus Pocus, and he was absolutely not into it, and she heard no one too many times and decided that if he didn't appreciate her, someone else would.
Okay. And as a partner, I mean, she wasn't his, like, or was she like an assistant?
She started out as kind of like a protege, and she thought it would turn into a partner act. Rumor suggests that it might have been more than just a professional partnership, but that has not been confirmed.
Okay. And I mean, after telling Lewis or like giving him that information, what was the relationship after that?
Between Illusionista and Lewis?
Yeah. And I imagine he's like 10 years older. He's probably in his like late 20s in the last game.
I think they remained very good friends, but I think rumors of more than a friendship persisted.
Okay.
And again, have never been confirmed.
Got it. He died in a like surprisingly mundane way for what a flashy magician he was. He tripped and fell down the stairs.
Tragic and embarrassing.
Yeah. Speaking of embarrassing,
good segue.
Gizzard the Lizard Wizard, you embarrassed yourself last year when you attended the convention in 2004. What happened?
So I embarrassed myself last year. Okay, so I feel like Gizzard has been going through a midlife crisis, although it's a bit later in his life. And I feel like he had a younger girlfriend last year that broke up with him in the midst of con very publicly and very cruelly.
Was she also a magician?
I don't think so. I think she was an assistant.
Okay.
Like the lovely assistant.
Different than your previous lovely assistant.
I have a different lovely assistant this year. I feel like he tried to go away from the lizards for like a hot second, and that's where his girlfriend came in, and then now he's back to lizards.
Did she like dress up in like scaly like magician's assistant?
Yes. For sure. She was like
Excellent.
A dragon lady or something.
All right. What's her name?
Her name was Doris.
Doris, the dragon lady. Nice.
Doris, the dragon lady.
All right. Cool. I like that. And for Ryse, so Ryse had a deck of cards that sometimes talked to him or communicated with him. In the current year, is this something that he still has a habit of using?
I'll say yes, just not the way he did when he was a child.
Okay. What does it look like now?
I think now... what does it look like now? Maybe it's more of a like a gimmicky party trick that he can make look a little bit more like fancy. So I'm thinking maybe like before it was more he just thought it was cool that it could talk. But I think now he's really using like the voice and whether people can hear the voice to maybe he's learned to do hypnosis like a little bit more, like maybe to like multiple people by having the cards like out as like a card trick as a distraction, but really maybe the cards are like duplicating whatever he says.
Right.
You know, so now he's using it to his advantage.
And last time we were having the cards kind of like Magic 8-Ball spell out an answer. Is that still the vibe?
Yeah. I think now, unfortunately, and I don't want to give too much away because he has changed quite a lot. But I think now it's more of, instead of Magic being like, oh, wow, this is really cool and interesting, he's kind of a scammer. So he's getting a lot more people, like, you know, asking for questions and believing that he has the answer because he has these talking cards. So they still do, you know, answer your question, but he's really laid it on thick that, like, these answers, it's almost like he's doing some sort of a reading on the cards to give you a better explanation of what it means instead of what it actually is.
I see. So what would be like a scene where he would be doing this, where he would be using these cards with a person or a group of people?
I'm going to say like on the streets. I think he's more of a street performer now. So he's, I think, on the streets and like for cash.
Got it. Like, does he have like a little folding table that he lays them out on? Okay. Yeah,
it's definitely, he is. Do you want me to describe him yet, or?
Let me just kind of lay out the premonition, and then we'll jump into that. So I think since we kind of get like, maybe the camera's not fully focused in on Ryse yet, but there's this little folding table set up. You're like waiting for the bars to get out, to let out, because you know you'll have like a rush of people coming through that you can grab. So it's like nighttime, but it's quiet wherever you are. Just kind of shuffling the cards, waiting, and you see the card, just sort of the top card on its own, do that kind of the pattern on the back turns and twists a little bit without you having to do anything. And it says there is a house of cards. And I'm going to roll a die here on the table to see what's going on in this session. And couldn't actually see it. Yeah, so the first card says this: there's a house of cards, and houses of cards tend to fall. And if you kind of like flip the next card, it does the same thing and says, at the Merlin, there's danger. The table's shaking. And then the next card says something else, like kind of so vague as to not be helpful at all. And then another card, and it says, blackness moving through the walls, and like screams and danger. And the last card you flip to says, everything may end. And then they just go back to being your normal cards. So let me jump back to Marie Bell, and Where do we find her in 2025? What's going on in her life?
I think she is about 7 years off a kind of nasty divorce that got her into private investigating.
Okay.
And now she kind of moves around the country from like job to job, using her magic on the lowdown to kind of solve people's problems that, other more official channels can't figure out.
Okay. And is this kind of like her just trying to do good, or like this is work?
It's work. She very strongly considered going the con artist route, but decided that the private investigative route was both legal and probably more lucrative, especially with the number of like older women who were afraid that their younger husbands were cheating on them.
Is her specialty still sleight of hand?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
She tends to use it. She still occasionally will do street magic, or I think she goes to the convention most years and will do some things there with it. But most of her sleight of hand is now in her detective work.
Okay. Does she still go by Illusionista?
At the convention, yes.
Okay.
I think she might have like a kind of like at this point a vintage van that does have like Illusionista investigations painted on the side.
Nice. My mind is immediately going like Mystery Machine.
Kinda, yeah.
All right.
Cool. She is leaning hard into the boho chic style.
Excellent. Great. And she is now 37. All right. And King Gizzard at the age of 60. What does Giz's life look like?
Okay, so I think Giz has, like I said before, I think he's going through a bit of a midlife crisis. He's still a magician. He's still a stealer. I feel like he's taken on the 2000s like bling. And so like his cowboy hat has bling on it. His shirts have bling on it. He's got a Razor scooter that's got bling on it. His new assistant, Dolores, she has a collar that is encrusted with gems, and she's on a leash. She does drape herself around his shoulders, but she's kind of big and he's getting a little older, so it's hard to carry her sometimes. So she also waddles around behind him sometimes. She's an Asian water monitor.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Dolores, the Asian water monitor.
Did he get Dolores after breaking up with Doris?
Yes.
Okay.
He got Dolores, and Bree went back to his lizard act, though it's not nearly as dangerous as it used to be.
How's that?
Well, he used to do a lot of like alligator wrestling and like watch as I magically don't get bitten by this thing. But now he's got like the one lizard, and he does like a lot of like watch the lizard as I steal your wallet and then tell you when your birthday is type thing.
Nice. How's he feeling coming back to the convention this year?
He is a little apprehensive. He does not want to see Doris again. But he's still in that like cocky, I've survived this long type era for himself, where he's just kind of like overly confident. I've been in this business for, 40 years at this point. I'm untouchable type thing. I deserve to be the Chris Angel, but I don't do Chris Angel stuff.
Right. Does he talk to Dolores? Or I guess does
yes.
Dolores talk to him?
Yes.
Okay, so that's still
part of his powers is still a thing. That's like his real magic powers.
Right.
Still, he just gave up on it for a little bit, thinking he could make a more sexy act.
Right. And Ryse, what is Ryse up to? At the age of 31.
Ryse is going for the hobo chic look. So he's got the long shaggy hair that's unkempt, and a long duster. He's also kind of looking like the knockoff Chris Angel, except for he just can't afford the nice boots and doesn't actually do flashy magic. And he mostly works streets nowadays. I don't think he even really goes to a lot of conventions. He only goes to this convention for a very specific reason. And so, yeah, I'm going to say he is mainly just working the streets, and when he's not working the streets, he's in the bar waiting for everybody to get out of the bar so that he can work the streets.
Is he still in Michigan?
I'm going to say he's a bit of a nomad. He, just like his mama, he has a camper, and he kind of lives in it full time.
Okay. When you say he comes to this convention for a specific reason, is that the premonition, or is that he regularly comes to this convention?
I don't think he really has the cash to really go to the convention that often, but I think he comes and just hangs around because I don't think, well, I'm gonna say this and then Static, you can correct me, but I don't think him and Giz or Illusionista are close anymore, and he probably comes around to hopefully bump in, specifically to bump into Illusionista.
I love it. Yeah. I think probably one of the reasons that she does come as frequently to the convention as she does is to see these two idiots. But she probably would not admit that openly and just be like, oh yeah, no, I happen to be in the area. I'm glad you're here too. But I don't think she would keep close in touch with either.
Yeah. Question for everybody. Was there a period of time after you all first met where you did stay in touch, or was it just let's never speak of this again?
I think Illusionista sent them Christmas cards for a couple of years that were always kind of joking. She'd send a Christmas card and it'd be a pretty traditional Christmas card, but there'd be a drawing of a bug on it or something. But I think that eventually stopped being as funny to her, so she stopped doing it.
Okay.
I feel like my connection to the other two is mostly through the convention. So it's not like I would reach out to them, but because they're magicians, I probably keep track of their careers a little bit, if they have any to keep track of. But it's not like I reach out to them. But I specifically look for them at every convention.
Ryse, for a very long time, was basically the opposite. He was very close, or he felt like he was very close to both of them. I think he's a type of person that would really cherish those cards and still keeps them in a lockbox. Yeah, he still considers Giz Uncle Giz. Yeah, I think he would be asking his mom to invite him over to Thanksgiving and Christmas, and be very disappointed when he never showed. Yeah.
Um, sorry, I just feel like digging into this more. But so, like, what did it look like when everybody ran into each other in like 1988?
I mean, Giz was super excited. He was checking on the kid, making sure he did all his practice, and like was showing him how to even do his fingering even faster, so that like less people could like track it, that type of stuff. He's more excited that like some kid is so interested in the art.
Mm-hmm.
And then like, yeah, I think he's just really excited to see them whenever they show up. It's not like he ignores them or anything. He's very excited about it.
Yeah, I think Illusionista does have genuine affection for the two. She probably spent a lot of time amusing herself seeing how long it took Giz to figure out that all of them were using real magic and that the kid just wasn't really, really talented.
Did he ever figure it out?
I don't think he did.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Still waiting.
Then that has been her ongoing hobby for 2 decades.
When did Ryse figure out that everybody is not doing real magic? Everybody meaning like all magicians.
I think if while they're still like close, I think at some point, you know, he gets to that age, right? Where perhaps people start being a little more or a little less accommodating of his naivety. It starts being like, look, that's not actually how that works. He's not actually doing it. And it does kill a little bit of that innocence and that magic. But I think what actually like flips the switch for him, where he realizes that no one really does magic and he is unique, is when like he finds out probably that Illusionista does real magic, right? Mm-hmm. And Giz does real magic. But I think he probably stops going to the conventions for the conventions when he realizes that nobody else really does magic, but they're all lying.
Ryse just cannot stand the lies.
I would read an entire young adult series about Ryse.
Probably gonna have to write it before he turns 30. That part of his life. Yeah, and I don't know if probably like the first few years you all go back to the convention like wondering if something crazy is going to happen again, and it doesn't, and again it doesn't, and again it doesn't, and eventually it's just the convention. And there was that one year when for some reason things went off the rails and you don't know why, but you fixed it, and everything is just back to normal. And there are good years and there are not so good years, and there are like some really good headlining magicians sometimes, and conventions that really stand out to you and some that fade into the background. But 20 years later, coming back to the little town of Wizard Springs, Wisconsin, and the Grand Merlin Hotel, all decked out for the convention again. It's never been quite as big and flashy as it was in the 80s. You all have aged, and the convention has aged too. It's gotten like maybe a little bit more commercial. Like there are really slick banners and a lot of like things for sale, and like people trying to sell magic tricks, and like management agencies trying to sign the new best, and like they get magicians from recent reality shows to come and perform and that sort of thing. But still a lot of your old friends and a lot of familiar faces pop up there every year, and it's still pretty popular. It's still pretty big. Can we just get like, I want everybody to describe your character kind of coming into the convention this year, 2005. Does Giz still get there first on the night before for the like pre-party?
Oh yeah, he's there for the pre-party for sure.
Right. So like set the stage. Like what does our camera see as Giz arrives?
Giz comes in the front door and he's dressed in a rhinestone cowboy suit basically, and he's got his sunglasses on, and his hair is dyed like a lot darker than it should be. Like you're like, that's an old man that should have gray hair, but it's jet black for some reason. And on the end of a very pink rhinestoned leash is his water monitor, Dolores, and she's just chilling, licking her tongue in and out, looking very intimidating, but being a sweet little puppy dog.
Great. And Doris isn't here, at least not yet, on the like preview party night. And you probably get like a lot of people coming up and saying hi and shaking your hand, and seeing some people like in the background, like looking and whispering, oh, poor Giz as well. Who wants to go next? Who would be the next to arrive? It doesn't even have to be the same evening or the same time or anything like that. I just want to kind of see everybody getting there.
I mean, Ryse will be there, but he won't arrive. He's going to be kind of watching the entrance.
Okay.
To catch Illusionista arriving.
Well, what does Ryse look like? Kind of like lingering outside.
That's exactly what he looks like. Super, like lanky, and he's probably, instead of a duster, he's found like a really old beat up jacket, to look cooler, like a leather jacket. And so he is probably literally just like a ways away from the entrance, like leaning on either like a pillar or a tree, playing with his cards, literally just watching and waiting. And if someone comes up and like, maybe a kid or somebody else or an old lady like comes up and sees him playing with the cards and asks him if he's a magician, he'll give him a good show for a very modest.
All right. Cool. Yeah, how about Illusionista?
Well,
When
Ryse
does
is
she
waiting.
arrive?
Ryse is waiting for her to make an entrance, and she makes an entrance. She is fashionably late, as she has been at every single convention she's been to. And she, like, struts up to the hotel. She may be using a little bit of magic to kind of, like, get the hair to catch her, like, beach curls perfectly. And she's got, like, the long peasant dress, the crochet top. She has, like, a paisley, sort of, like, long, kind of almost a duster, actually. Lots of belts and bangles and really like gaudy but fantastic jewelry. She definitely has like one of those belled anklets so you can hear every single step she takes. And just like pushes the doors open like she owns the place. And probably honestly beelines for Giz if she sees him.
Nice. Well, hey, let's just pick up there then. First, does I'll say like Ryse, you were like doing a little show for a couple of like teenagers who wandered up to you, and you see out of the corner of your eye what you just heard, Illusionista entering. Do you head after her?
Yeah, he's gonna watch her go in and then sort of turn back to them and kind of cut the show short. And he's like, all right, well, I gotta head out. And he's gonna catch up.
All right. See, yeah, I mean, I think Illusionista goes in and can see, where is Giz?
So his new thing is that he gives classes to like the younger generation to pass on the knowledge. And so like he's gotten like a bit of a following of younger people that like either think of him as a joke or actually think of him as a mentor. So he's like sitting in the lobby telling a grand story about how once upon a time him and Blizzard did the most amazing magic show in all of the East Coast. And people would come from miles around to see his amazing lizards.
Excellent. Yeah, so Illusionista sees this immediately upon entering. Does Illusionista have a room reserved this time?
No, she does not.
Okay.
She's gonna. I don't think she has ever reserved a room. I think she has stolen someone's room every single year.
Every year, somebody
Somebody's
furious. Yeah.
I think some years she kind of like messes up with a couple of the room assignments, so it's not obvious that she's the one doing it every year. But it would not take much figuring out that she was a common denominator.
Mm-hmm. In 1985, there was a receptionist named Marcus who you played that trick on, and who was also hypnotized to juggle and didn't want to stop juggling. He is now the general manager of the hotel, and I think is a little suspicious.
One of these days she'll get caught. Maybe this year. We'll find out.
And he's also really good at juggling.
I think as Ryse comes in, he's not going to make a big entrance. He's actually just gonna, kind of slide in between some people, keep a low profile as he goes up to Giz and Illusionista, both hands in his pockets, and he's literally just going to be like, "Hey."
Well, if it isn't the kid himself, look at you! Now, why are you being all slouchy? Stand up straight. You're a showman, son.
Okay.
He gives you a big old hug.
He hugs you back.
Dolores makes like a friendly hissing noise.
Dolores says hello. She's just enchanted to meet such a handsome young man as you're turning out to be.
You old dinosaur, did you get a new assistant?
Why, yes I did. This is Dolores. Isn't she a beauty? She's an all-black lizard, so she is really sleek and cool looking. She stands, her pink bedazzled collar stands out real nice on her scales.
She's gorgeous. I must say, I love what you've done with the ensemble.
Why, thank you. I just thought I'd gussy up some this year, as magic is getting more intense. These crazy Chris Angel types trying to be all flashy. I think I can get on that bandwagon,
Oh, they're hardly gonna need stage lights to catch you.
That's the idea. You all see all of me, but not my hand.
How have you been, Ryse?
Good. Yeah, I've been good. How have you been?
Oh, living the dream. Going around doing my thing. Nothing as flashy as the dinosaur over here, but we get by.
What are you doing
Yeah.
now?
Hmm?
What are you doing now? Are you,
Oh,
like, predicting the future or something?
more like trying to make sense of the past. Just answering some questions for people. Where'd my heirloom watch go? Is my butler sleeping with my husband? Where'd all my money from my bank account get to? Stuff like that.
Like a magic investigator.
You don't get any weird or, I don't know, dark thoughts about things anymore?
Not for a while. It's been a pretty nice doom and gloom free couple of decades for me.
Boy, that'd be nice.
Well, Lewis notwithstanding, but I didn't see that one coming, so...
Fair.
You probably can't help but like glance over at the big grand stairway in the middle of the lobby, which is where Lewis fell last year. I don't know if anyone was there and saw it, but you all know that that's where it happened.
Is he alive?
No, he's dead.
Oh.
But hey, death and taxes, the one thing that comes for us all.
Is it?
Well, actually, for you, probably not. When is the last time you paid taxes?
No comment. I plead the fifth.
I don't think she's a cop. Yes.
No, but she can see the past and the future, so she could report me at any time.
You keep that in mind and be on your best behavior, old man.
I cannot promise that, girlie.
I would be disappointed if you did.
Ryse kind of looks over at Illusionista. Can you tell the future? I mean, like by touching something or something?
She'll kind of look around and make sure nobody's super paying attention to their conversation.
Yeah, I think the general attitude is really like lots of people meeting up who haven't seen each other in a long time. This is just like chatter going on. Nobody's really focused on you.
Okay. Then
The crowd that was around Giz broke up.
Yeah, she'll shrug and be like, well, I haven't specifically tried that for a while, but I could. Do you have something in mind?
Ryse is gonna take out of his pocket his cards. And he's not gonna say anything, but he's just gonna kind of hand them out to you so that you can like touch them.
Okay. Yeah, she'll take them and try and see if she can get a glimpse of the future, I guess.
Cool. Let's do a roll.
Cool.
Probably mind makes sense for that. Excuse me. And there's not going to be a cost to it. Just a roll. See what happens.
That's a 4. And my,
All right.
Oh God, what's my mind?
Probably better than 4.
I have notes. It is, it's a 6. So
Cool.
Yes, better than a 4.
Yeah. How have visions, how have like the little premonitions that Illusionista used to get, how did those work for her?
The first thing that came to mind, and I think given that it's the 2000s, I need to run with it, it's very That's So Raven.
Okay.
Where she kind of she sort of like starts to look off into the middle distance and has like this sort of brain blast image thing.
Okay. Yeah, so that happens and you just see the color black. And it's like there's a texture to it, like it seems a little like liquid, but there's nothing more than just that like blackness.
Yeah, I think she'll see that, and then she'll close her eyes and sort of like shake her head, and her very long beaded earrings like jingle jangle a little bit. She's like, well, does I swear I'm not pulling one over on you, but does like a infinite void mean anything to you?
Well, that sounds familiar. I feel I am approaching it.
Giz, not you.
I wasn't gonna say.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Ryse. All I got was kind of darkness and kind of like a sticky taste in my mouth. I didn't like it.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Can I try to pull a card and see if it'll say what it said earlier to like show?
Yeah. You just kind of want it to repeat what it already did?
Yeah. I don't know how that works, but
yeah, I think you can. I feel like maybe you can just do that. Because it's not really like, it's not even asking the card something, it's just like making it show the same thing that it showed before. Which I'm imagining like Giz was kind of sprawled out on a little like couch with a table in front of it, and you can like lay out the cards there. And I wish I remembered exactly what I said that it said, so I could say it again.
It said blackness moving through the walls. Everything might end. At the Merlin, there's danger.
Yeah, and references to a falling house of cards.
And we see this on the cards when he spreads them out?
Yeah. And you've seen his cards talk like this before, so it's not, like, in and of itself, it's not shocking.
Well, that's terrifying. Normally, they're not so ooky spooky.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Have they done this before?
I don't think so. In fact, to be honest, I don't think I've ever gotten answers when there wasn't a question.
Oh, you didn't ask it anything?
No.
Well, I guess what I saw could be described as an inky blackness. She kind of like looks at the wall nervously and like is waiting for a bug to appear.
Yeah, there's nothing, just a wall.
Maybe it's just talking about Giz's career or something.
Well, hey now. I think I'm on the way up, son.
Yeah, out of the three of you, I think Giz is doing the best as a professional magician.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I don't know how the cards could confuse him as an inky blackness. Have you seen his suit?
No, I'm very shiny.
Oh, no, but maybe Taurus.
Maybe well, she is inky black, but I don't think she could swallow like a whole wall or anything.
I think it might be warning us not to let her into the walls.
No. I think it has more to do with the end of something. That's what I meant. Maybe your budding career is coming to an end.
Well, that'd be a bummer. That's all right.
Couldn't think of anything else.
Just a bunch of hocus pocus anyway. Them cards say all kinds of darn things.
Well, I mean, we could ask them if they're talking about the end of Giz's career, right?
Yeah, I suppose we could. Can I ask the cards? Is Uncle Giz's career about to die?
Let's do a roll for that.
Okay.
I'm gonna cross all my fingers and toes.
Is it gonna be mind?
I could go either way, depending on kind of how you want to do it.
Yeah, I'll
Your
do
mind is way better, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
1. Oh, wait. No,
Oh,
I got
that's great.
10.
Oh, wait, what?
No, I got a 10.
Oh, okay. So
Right?
that's a fail.
If it's a 0, it's a 10. If it's a 1, it's a 1.
Okay, then I did get a 1.
Okay. Man, like an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like, yeah, very successful. But as he said, is Giz's career going to die? It says it might be time for everyone to die.
Oh. I remember
Well-
these cards being much more positive.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull another card immediately. Be like, what do you mean? Like, be clear. What do you mean by everybody? Us?
That's like 3 questions. You're gonna have to they're cards, Ryse. Come on.
Well, you got a 1 on that thing, so I think you can roll with it. It, again, kind of the lines blur and move, that kind of like hologram sort of thing, and the letters say, first everyone here, then everyone.
I think Ryse is like in shock. He's gonna be like, okay. He's gonna pull another card. Like, here, like the state, the convention, this immediate area.
Ryse, you haven't been listening to any of that emo music, have you?
What? No, Giz.
I bet you
This doesn't make any
anything.
sense.
Bet you anything we find Linkin Park in his car.
No.
Oh, for sure. These cards have been way more dramatic in the last 5 minutes than they ever have been.
That's not my fault.
To be fair to the cards, if I had to guess what state the apocalypse would start in, Wisconsin would be in my top 5.
What are your others?
Well, Florida's number 1,
Yeah.
and probably Texas.
Yeah.
New York, because they'll
Actually,
be mad if I don't say it.
that's fair.
California for balance, and then 5 is Wisconsin.
See, now I would have picked West Virginia in that top 5 somewhere.
I could see that. I think Mothman holds it down though.
Oh, he is pretty cool.
Ryse is gonna stand up abruptly and hold the card in his hand and make sure that nobody can see it, and he wants to flip it over without saying anything out loud. But he wants to ask the card if Illusionista is gonna die.
It says, you. So I was on Google trying to decide if I could have the card only answer in Fall Out Boy song titles, but it was
Well, I need that to happen.
anyway. Instead, I'm going to go back to the cards talking about cards, and it says, we can't be certain what card will be drawn next.
I think you guys kind of see Ryse like freaking out a little bit. He kind of puts the card back and he's just pacing, like rubbing his head.
Now, kid, calm down. You know, a couple of decades ago, we, the 3 of us, unlikely heroes, saved this convention. We can do it again.
Right. All right.
After all, you are the most talented of my proteges.
I don't know if I would consider myself a protege, but okay.
Oh, don't ruin the illusion. He really likes it.
I do really like it.
Well, what are y'all here to do anyway? Are you doing a performance?
Oh,
Well-
I'm just here to watch. I heard that they're doing this thing where they get a bunch of like first year magicians and do like a reality show on stage, like a really weird sort of fear factor thing, and I had to see it.
Oh my.
I may or may not have contributed some of my zoology to that event.
Zoology?
Well, I mean, my collection of lizards, and I think I've added some tarantulas now this year.
Oh, now we definitely have to save the convention because I need to watch that weird little act where they have like it's the twins and they wear like actually honestly kind of like your outfit right now, Giz, but it's very sparkly. I heard they're going to be on it and I really need to see them covered in tarantulas.
The Wonder Twins.
Yeah, those two.
Yeah, they're annoying as fuck.
Yes.
I don't really follow. I don't have cable. Should we maybe, or I should maybe look around, make sure everything's safe.
Yeah.
I'll go with you. We did a decent job investigating last time.
We are on the case.
Right.
Also, Dolores has amazing sniffing powers. She can smell a piece of beef jerky from nearly a mile away.
Can she smell anything else from a mile away?
Well, I figure if she can smell that, out of all of the swamp smell in Florida, I feel like she could figure out a couple of other things.
Okay, Dolores, do you smell any apocalyptic causing void things in the walls nearby?
Let me ask her, Dolores. Do you smell anything weird? Yes, honey. Anything spooky, ooky pooky? Huh?
Let's do a roll for that.
Yay! What would you like me to roll with?
What do you want to roll with? I mean, you're doing some magic here. Again, like if you're using mind, it's slow, quiet, intricate, like solving a puzzle. If you're using body, it's loud, forceful, and fast. And I know you've got a couple points in magic now, so that's just like unpredictable, strange.
We can use the magic as if it's a roll now?
Yeah, you can. Yeah. I mean, you always could. It's just you only have 1 point in it to begin with, so it would be kind of silly to do.
Well, it has to do with body, but it's not my body. It's my lizard's body.
I think that's all right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, and it's a 4, which is under my 7. So that works, right?
Yeah. Tell me again, what did you ask Dolores?
I asked her if she smelled anything ooky spooky. Like dark energy.
Dolores says, what does Dolores' voice sound like? I had her hissing before. I think it's got to be very hissy. I smell something very old.
Ooh, something very old, she says. Where is it, Pumpkin?
All over.
All over. Well, this hotel is pretty old. Is it the hotel?
could be.
Great. Great Giz.
Well,
Eileen-
she smells something real old and it's all over the place.
I lean a little bit closer to Ryse and I'm like, how much do you want to bet she just smells him?
That's what I was thinking. Can you ask her? I don't know.
Is there anywhere that it smells more of this?
There's so many smells right now. Maybe that way. And she gestures toward the stairway.
Giz, are you?
Ooh.
How accurate is Dolores here?
Is that a me question or a DM question?
No, that was just that was Ryse.
Okay. Well, as I said, she can sniff out a little piece of beef jerky a mile away, so she's pretty accurate.
Oh, and she flicks her tongue out to smell the air as she is answering the question.
Well, we don't have any other leads, so guess we're following Dolores.
There's kind of like this energy kind of runs through the crowd of everybody kind of like suddenly whispering to each other, talking to each other, and it sounds like somebody important is coming into the room. And the host of this game of live Fear Factor is a really popular magician right now.
Is it Chris Angel?
It's not Chris Angel. No. I haven't thought of a name yet. I've already face cast him as. Does anybody know who Noel Fielding is?
Mm-mm.
No, he's a British actor who was on a show called The Mighty Boosh around this time, and I kind of wanted it to just be him, but I'll just face cast him instead. Very tall.
Isn't he on the Great British Bake Off?
He is on the Great British Bake Off now, yeah. Very tall, kind of slender, strong facial features. He has long black hair cut into severe bangs, looking very goth. He's dressed a little bit like Illusionista and a little bit like Giz. He's got the long black knit sweater over black jeans, and then a very sparkly silver jacket over top of that. And he is called, I'm gonna call him Damien Red. Really popular, kind of like Chris Angel style, a little bit like comedy, weird magic, endurance and escape and stuff like that. And he's also the host of this Fear Factor style show that is, I think that they're filming a promotion for it at the convention. It hasn't come out yet, but it's people are talking about it. Has come into the room surrounded by his entourage, and everybody's talking and pointing and directing their attention that way.
Can I pull a card while he's kind of walking in? I just kind of want to see. I think Ryse is kind of he's really confused, and he kind of just wants to know if specific people will die.
Okay.
And so I think he's just gonna kind of randomly ask that question when he sees somebody. So he's gonna ask, "Is this guy gonna die?
That person die?" it says when one in the house of cards falls, they all fall.
Can't get a straight answer on these cards.
Well, what did you just ask them?
If this guy was gonna die.
And they were vague about
I mean, it was kind of a yes or no answer. So anything other than that, kind of annoying, right?
that? That feels like a question they'd want to be kind of specific about.
Right.
But the cards don't really answer yes or no, do they? They're always like 8 balls. They're like, maybe in the future, someday.
Well, I guess. But usually I can interpret them, you know? These are all, I don't know, like malevolent.
Doesn't seem that way, huh?
Maybe they're broken. I need to talk to my dealer.
I hope not.
Oh, you finally got a dealer?
Mm-hmm.
Do I know this dealer?
He's a card dealer.
Oh.
Do you know a lot of dealers, Gibbs?
Oh, I mean, they're around this profession pretty often.
The card kind, of course.
No. My lizards eat cards sometimes, so I try to not do cards.
Fair warning, Ryse. Dolores might get hungry.
No, she knows not to mess with other people's things. She's very well trained, aren't you, Dolores? Did she lead us right to this guy?
You haven't really gone anywhere yet. This just sort of happened. He came into the room, into the building, and I think around this time, everybody's kind of filtering up the stairs toward the ballroom where the kind of pre-con or beginning of the con kind of evening takes place.
Well, can we follow Dolores's nose then in the direction she was pointing us?
Yeah, that's going to kind of lead you just along with everybody else up the stairs.
Cool.
While they're all walking, Ryse will kind of walk next to Illusionista. So how's like everything? I know you got a divorce. How's that going?
Oh, fantastic. I haven't talked to Aaron in 3 years, and I'm loving that for myself.
Cool.
What about you? What have you been up to?
Just traveling, mostly. Keeping busy. Mostly doing street performances now. Really popular with the over 60 crowd.
Well, Giz has been your biggest fan for a while, so that's not surprising.
Are you planning to come back to the convention more often, or it's like a one-time thing?
Oh, I mean, probably. It's good to stop by. Giz is always here. You're usually here. Nice to catch up.
Right.
Did Ryse hear or believe the rumors that Illusionista and Louis Lux were romantically involved?
Yeah, I think that depends on if, and we can decide on this together, Static. if Ryse shot his shot at any point, and if he was turned down.
Oh, interesting. I mean, yeah. When would he have tried to do that?
Probably as soon as like it was appropriate. So we're probably like, yeah, you know, probably like 18, 19. But I think I don't think he would have done it if you were in a relationship or he thought you were in a relationship. And so, but I think if he thought you weren't in a relationship and you turned him down, he would assume that you were with somebody.
What if he was 18 or 19, she would have been, oh gosh, it's been too long of a day for me to do math.
24 or 25?
Okay. She got married when she was 26, so she probably would have been dating Aaron at that point.
Okay. Then I don't think so. I think if he never like actually had the chance to ask you out, he would have assumed that you like married Aaron, but like you didn't have a relationship with what's his name, Lewis.
Just right. For the clarity of the timeline, those rumors would have started after her divorce from Aaron.
Oh. Would he be? Well, no, because he didn't. After you divorced Aaron, have you guys seen each other since then?
She got, oh god, I just said this too. I think she was divorced like 7-ish years ago. So if he's been to a convention in the last 7 years, then yes.
I'm trying to think, like, at what point would he stop trying? You know, officially.
Buddy.
Presumably,
right.
Presumably while she's married.
Well, yeah, but I'm thinking like after she gets to, yeah, I'm thinking like, oh, if she gets divorced and then they see each other at a convention, like, would he be like, hey, you're divorced now? I don't think he would. I think he would continue to like test the wall. I think he would like kind of be a puppy dog, honestly, forever. I know. So yeah, I'm gonna say that he has kind of like a. If it was true, I don't think it matters to him. To me, you are perfect. Got it. Yeah, if it was true, I don't think it matters to him. But I also don't think he really. I honestly don't think he thinks about other people in terms of like your relationship. You know, like he's like, oh, okay, you got married. Oh, okay, you got divorced. Oh, you're seeing someone. I think he's just mostly always thinking about just keeping a connection with you, and he doesn't want to jeopardize that by saying anything or being too forward.
He's too precious for this world.
Precious little grifter hobo. Yeah, so I kind of interrupted the conversation, and then that was a rabbit hole. Is there more? Do you want to just go back into the two of you talking, or move on with the story?
I think it's mostly just small talk, catching up.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just kind of like that little bit of back and forth. I just wanted to, like, Ryse is kind of making an effort to chat with Illusionista. I think he tends to get the same response from her, and I think he's just constantly waiting until that response changes. So I think that's what that was.
Right. So, everybody kind of goes up they go up the big grand stairway. At the top, there's the main ballroom where the big performances take place. There's the main stage where everything happened last time, and the room is set up with little round tables and chairs set up throughout it. And it's just kind of like a little opening kind of cocktail party kind of atmosphere. So people have kind of gathered, sat down at these little tables, chatting with each other. The curtains across the stage, and probably just music playing over the speakers, which is looking at popular songs from 2005. It's My Humps by Black Eyed Peas.
Perfect.
I was going to suggest Candy Shop. I think yours is better.
Oh, that's good.
That'll come on next. Yeah, so, and I guess I don't know if you're actually heading into the ballroom or not. You know what to expect there. You've come to enough of these things. So what are the three of you doing? And you're sort of in the middle of this crowd going up the stairs as well.
Well, I'm still trying to follow Dolores's nose. So whichever direction she wants to go in, I'm going to follow her.
So you're having Dolores lead the way, which probably means, I'm guessing that monitor lizards don't do stairs super well.
No,
maybe I'm wrong.
Don't.
I'm probably like slow going, and a lot of people walking around you climbing up these stairs.
I would definitely, though, help her up the stairs. Like, I'd be like, oh, we're going up the stairs? Okay. And I'd pick her up and get to the top of the stairs.
Yeah. People probably still give you a bit of space as you're carrying the monitor lizard.
And as we're, like, going and people are, like, noticing the lizard, I'm like, yeah, don't forget, Saturday morning, 11 a.m., check out the class by King Gizzard, the Lizard Wizard. Know your familiar. It'll teach you all about the art of having an animal in your act.
And, Dolores says, maybe smells more here. Is there food? And yeah, I think she kind of leads you just up into the ballroom. But she's not really sure. It's like she's not getting anything specific. Just more of this general sense.
Well, I'll give her a treat of beef jerky. Nice big piece. Well, she led us as far as she can. Seems like it's a general smell of an odious presence of ancient variety.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Maybe we've been doing this convention long enough that we've called down the old gods upon us.
You joke, but you know that's the kind of luck that we have.
Oh, I mean, just that one time.
Ryse is continuing to pull cards on random people.
Okay. I think you get like a lot more like vague references to cards and randomness and things like if you shuffle the deck, it changes the sequence, and there are cards in the deck, but you don't know which one is next and things like that. And sorry, go ahead.
Based on what it's telling me now, every time I just pull it randomly on a random person at the convention, and the first few things it was telling me, am I putting something together that am I figuring out something? Because I think that's what he's trying to do.
Yeah. Why don't you do another mind roll? Just, this isn't magic. This is just using your mind.
7.
And your mind is
9.
9. Okay. Well, the other two are talking about what happened 20 years ago, and yeah, like then, Illusionista had this premonition of fire and the walls falling, and obviously that like weird stuff happened, but that premonition didn't actually come true. So it's not certain that any given thing is going to happen. It's just possible, and you can change it.
I think as Ryse is putting this together, he's kind of shuffling his cards as he's kind of looking around. And then he looks back at Giz and Illusionista. I don't really understand visions or whatnot, but maybe this is less this is going to happen and more this is a warning. Maybe we should just look out for something that might seem off.
Fair. You know, maybe we could watch out for things in the party.
The party.
Yeah, they're playing in my hump. It's a really fun song to dance to.
You know what? I would pay money to watch you dance to that song. I think we do, in fact, need to go to the party.
Let's go. Let's go.
He kind of saddles up to Giz. Are you paying for the festivities?
Oh, well, somebody's gonna. And I'm just gonna try and pickpocket somebody random that walks by.
Yeah, you do it. You get a wallet with some cash in it. Definitely a cash bar here. If I think anybody can wander in off the street, they're not giving stuff away for free. I'll just kind of like open it up. Like, what do you all want to do here at this party?
Well, we definitely need to see Giz dance to my humps.
Okay.
Yep. Definitely scouting.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably like wander around and see if, vibe check the place a little bit.
Gonna flirt with all the beautiful women, minus fashionista, because that's weird.
Yeah. So, I mean, the excitement here is definitely directed toward Amy in Red and the competition that's going to be going on. I think some of the contestants, probably all of the contestants, are here. The who were the twins? The Wonder Twins are here. Y'all can feel free to make up other magicians who are taking part in this this reality show, but they're here. People are kind of gathered around them. People are getting Damien's autograph, and otherwise just like magicians chatting with each other, talking shop, catching up with people they haven't seen in a while. And there are a lot of people here that you haven't seen before because they're brought in by this spectacle of the reality show that's going to be going on as well.
Are any of them... Oh, go ahead.
You go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to ask, are any of them magical?
What do you mean by that?
Like if he were to, like if Ryse were to kind of look around, would he think that any of them actually had real magic?
I think from what you've described of Ryse, he probably has a real discerning eye for this, since he kind of has this disdain for magicians almost, if I'm characterizing that right.
Yeah.
And I don't think, like, just from kind of looking around the room, nothing jumps out at you as being special.
Okay.
It's probably like, especially with the reality show factor, it's even more like hype and fake, and like maybe even more kind of repulsive to you specifically.
Okay. Then Ryse is just sitting and nursing Oh, let's see. Let's do a frozen daiquiri.
That's excellent.
And yeah, and he has no interest in interacting with anybody. He just kind of looks around, kind of vaguely disgusted, and just is there because his two friends are there.
Has this been kind of like his mood every time he's been at a convention recently?
Oh yeah.
Then I think Illusionist will see he's being grumpy, and kind of like link arms with him and sort of lead him around the room and be like, you know, you used to really like this kind of thing.
Yeah, well, I was really young and stupid.
You weren't stupid. You were adorable.
Well, I'm kind of adorable now.
I've been sleeping under a bridge for a few years. Yeah, that kind of way.
This is a new jacket. Like, at least the guy that I took it from said it was new.
You stole man's jacket. Giz would be
Uncle
so
Giz
proud.
must be so yes.
I'm so proud. He's grown up so fast.
I mean, it's a nice jacket, I guess.
Giz is definitely wandering around dancing and like trying to talk up his class for tomorrow and get more people interested. He's saying like, oh, well, if you're interested in that survivor fear factor stuff, I happen to own the real tarantula that they just had on the last episode of Fear Factor. You know, the one that the girl had to almost eat, but she couldn't. Yeah, I have him. He's been a bit traumatized, but he is not afraid of people anymore.
You hear a shrill voice say, "Oh, Gizzard, is that you?" And you see from like a short way away through the crowd, your old friend Fernanda Featherington heading through the crowd toward you, who my notes say annoying bird magic, likes Giz.
Yeah. She's like my age, so.
Yeah, I think she's even like a little bit older than you. I don't think she's like doing magic anymore. She doesn't have a bird with her, but still comes to the convention because she likes to gossip and she likes to like socialize. So she's heading your way.
Hello, Featherington. How are you?
She like grabs your arm. You're like, "Oh, Giz, it's so brave of you to come back this year after everything that happened."
I don't know what you're talking about there, Ferdinand.
Oh, of course you do, Giz, the dragon lady.
Oh, yeah, I had to fire her. She was just so emotional. Young people, you know.
I was here, Giz. It seemed like she fired you.
Well, that might be what it looked like to some people, but a real magician could see what was going on there. She was just she couldn't hack it. Not like my lovely Dolores here. Happy Dolores! And I'm just gonna put the lizard like in her face, like, here she is.
Oh dear. So back to the old kind of assistant then.
Yeah, you can't beat a good lizard, you know.
I heard about your class on Saturday. If you would like my expertise as a fellow animal handler, I would be happy to work with you.
You know, I think I got all the assistance I could hope for. But you know, Ferdinand, there's been a rumor going around that there's some ancient mystery that's going to be revealed this con. Do you know anything about that?
Oh, you certainly are a card.
Aren't I just though? Now come on, Ferdinand. You know you heard some rumor about something cool and old showing up to this convention this year.
Nothing old this year. It's all young, all youth, all Damien Red and his television show. It's really changed, hasn't it?
I suppose it has, but you know, I really do like them TV wizards.
You do?
I mean, they're pulling off things that we didn't have to do that close. You know what I mean? We had a distance from the stage to the audience. They couldn't tell what our hands were doing, but now that camera's right up on their heads, they can still do that trick. That's crazy. I feel like we're evolving.
If you say so.
Well,
she spots somebody else she wants to talk to and is like, "Oh, do excuse me, Giz. We'll connect again."
Sure, we will. Well, I didn't get any information from Featherington, kids. I'll keep combing the craft.
Do I know anything about Merlin? Because I think one of the original ones said something about Merlin. Does that mean anything to me?
Yeah, that's the name of the hotel.
Oh. Huh.
Grand Merlin.
You know, I was thinking about it. I did say this hotel was old. And Merlin's a real old wizard. Maybe the hotel's gonna eat everybody.
That would be cool if we weren't in it.
Giz, give me a mind roll.
Oh,
Let's see how this goes.
Okay. Oh no, I got a 3, which is my mind roll exactly.
Okay. All right. When you roll your trait exactly, you succeed with a negative consequence.
Cool.
Man, how to go with this? What's a negative consequence to remembering something? Probably remembering too much. So the one thing, as Giz kind of casts back in his aged and cloudy mind, is that the first time you came to Wizard Springs, this place was actually called the Grand Marlin Hotel. And you were here for one of the very first magician conventions here, when it was just this tiny little, it's just a hotel that some magicians decided to get together at. And eventually that became an important enough thing to this place that they changed the name to the Grand Merlin to kind of add to the mystique. The thing that, this image pops in your brain of something that you've blocked out, and you see Queen Blizzard, very young, probably like 20 years old, and you were as well, young Florida hippie or whatever you were at that time, and someone else, just this like you're looking at the stage, and there's this like there's a person there, but they're like blacked out. They're like a hole. It's just like these. If this was in a film, there would be like some sort of horrible like screeching sound and like this like flashing image of looking at this stage and then it cutting out and like this thing that you can't quite remember.
Is that the horrible part of it, or do I?
Yeah, that was the bad part of it.
Okay. Kid.
You probably also don't react very well to like that experience. That's like the other side of it.
I'm real dizzy. I think I'm having an LSD flashback. Can we sit down for a second? The room is spinning real good. Oh man. Oh boy.
Oh, okay. That's too many black-eyed peas for you, old man. Let's have a seat.
You just remembered something. Way back in the day when this hotel was called the Marlin, not the Merlin, we changed its name. Anyway, there was a spooky person that did a performance here. It's like they've been blocked out of my mind. Way too many LSD trips, kids.
Do you remember what they look like?
No, they're like this weird black hole of scariness. But they performed on this stage over there.
Do you remember when? There's probably some record of past performances.
Let's see. We were in 1985 last time. So I was 40 then. So it would have been 65. 1965. Back when the Beatles were a thing.
Who are the Beatles?
What did you just say, child?
All right.
We're listening to the Beatles after this stupid song. I think I have my iPad.
Do you think they have a registry of some sort, like an old one?
Ooh, that's a good idea. Maybe the director of the convention has records that go back that far.
Oh yeah, he's really come along with his juggling, by the way.
He really has. You are just the best influence on people, kid. Now, all you have to do is influence those billionaires to give up some money.
Speaking of people who haven't paid taxes their entire life. Well, do we want to go ask the good manager for his records, or do you want to stretch your magical legs a little bit, Ryse?
So I come back here, not necessarily knowing every time if they're going to be here, but so do I have a rapport with him at this point, do you think?
I could see that going a different way if you kind of like slink around outside the hotel and like I don't know, do you think, like, what kind of relationship do you think you would have? I mean, it could be whatever you want, honestly.
Well, Ryse has gotten better at his hypnosis and stuff like that. And so maybe when he finally got on his own, which is actually probably way too early, of like 14 or 15. Maybe he came back, and maybe he's the one that helped him get better at juggling.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I think what you would have found that like that original like bit of hypnosis went bad, but I think it left like it left a scar a little bit that you had the chance to clean up, to fix that little mess. Like he was obsessed with juggling, and you worked with him on that. And yeah, we'll say you have a good relationship with him. And he again is Marcus.
Okay. So I'll look at illusions then. I think we can ask him. I don't know if he'll know, but I think he'll be okay with us asking.
I will let you do the talking. I think he's starting to suspect that I don't pay for my rooms.
You little genius, you! I knew you picked up something from me.
Yeah, I definitely got this from you.
I'm such a good mentor.
The best kids. All right, let's go see Marcus.
I imagine he's probably like in the room. He's probably here somewhere, like telling the bartenders what to do and like organizing the cleaning staff and stuff like that. Like he's circulating in the room.
Okay, I think they know each other enough at this point to know that Ryse kind of keeps himself. So I think he'll, be in his eye line. See he's busy, but like again, kind of lurk. That's kind of his thing. He'll kind of lurk in his area, and so knowing that he'll eventually notice him, and then they can go over to a quiet corner to have a conversation.
All right. Yeah, that happens.
How's it going, Marcus?
Busy. Always busy. I just feel like I'm, tossing balls in the air and keeping them up. How are you?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm good. We're, my friends are here. We're just catching up, Do you... I have a weird question. And so it's okay if you don't have like an answer, you don't know what I'm talking about, but you wouldn't happen to know if there's some sort of a registry or something where perhaps past guests or performers have like written down their name anywhere? Like
that's all in. We pretty much keep that in the computers now.
Even the old ones, like when the hotel was really young. I don't know. For example, like 40, 50 years ago.
I don't think we really have anything like that around anymore.
Don't have any like really old documents. You just kind of keep in a safe somewhere, or something special from was new.
I mean, this place has been around for a while. I just started working here, and I guess probably around the time I met you, first time. But I mean, there's boxes in the basement. There's all kinds of things. We don't really keep that sort of thing. Like we don't have any reason to like take care of the names of guests who were here 40 years ago.
What about famous guests? You gotta like celebrate them somewhere, right?
I mean, there's the photos in the hall of the headliners from the conventions, all the magicians and stuff. That's probably the maybe a couple of like governors and mayors have stayed here, but yeah, I think probably the biggest thing would be the magicians.
Do the photos go all the way back to the 1960s?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Well, I don't want to take up any more of your time. I know you're busy. So if you think of anything else, I'll be around.
Who are you trying to find?
Mysterious presence.
No.
What?
Oh. No. We were interested in a pretty famous magician back in the 60s. Heard he did she did a performance here. We were just interested to see if there were any, pictures or, autographs, cool history.
Weird, spooky photographs that are just black for no reason.
I think he recently had me. So you could just ignore everything he said.
I did have a couple of margaritas.
Yeah. I mean, you can look at the pictures. I'll ask around a little bit, but that's see what I can find out.
Great, thanks, Marcus.
And he like moves off to like yell at a bartender or something like that.
Let's go look at them pictures.
Giz, we might not want to alert anyone to there being perhaps a scary situation that we're investigating.
Oh, I guess.
Just in case they get, scared or freaked out or suspicious.
But that's the whole thing of the. Oh, okay.
People are here for the fun magic, the glitzy stuff, not the, potentially world-ending stuff.
Which is just as exciting. It could really build up to something really cool.
Or not.
Fair. But if I could have shown the people how my lizards ate all those crazy phantom bugs, man, that would have been TV worthy.
Giz, what is it with you and getting on TV?
I just think that's where the future is, man.
All right.
I bet they'd let you on that Fear Factor if you really wanted.
Well, I have auditioned once or twice. They did not like that the animals enjoyed being around me.
I can see how that might make the whole fear part of the factor moot.
Yeah. But that's where I got the little tarantula named Henry. So, got something out of it.
Well, next time you audition, can you just tell the animals to act afraid?
Well, I could. I don't know if they are very good actors, though.
I thought you were supposed to be afraid.
Oh, yeah, I'm supposed to be afraid, but they're supposed to be, all intimidating and stuff, and they just kind of, snuggle up next to me and are like, oh, hey, buddy. Doesn't do great for television.
I think there was very briefly talk about having Giz host this show, and then they shifted away from that really quickly and got Damien.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. So what are y'all doing?
Well, we can go see the photos, and then if nothing pans out there, find the basement. Oh, there's some boxes down there.
Yeah.
Seems like a good plan to me.
All right. Yeah, like you spend the evening starting off looking at photos in the hallway. There are a lot of pictures of like crowds gathered at past conventions, headliners. I think like you can find Queen Blizzard there. You can see several pictures with Louis Lux. Even for what is it? The Featherington when she was young is in some of the pictures, but they go back to like probably like 72 or thereabouts when it started becoming more of a big deal. So they don't go back quite far enough for what you're looking for. And you probably have to like a sleight of hand or trick or magic your way down into the basement as well, because that's not really a place you're allowed to go. And it's like there's so much stuff, and so much of it is just like nothing at all related to what you're looking for. But I'm gonna say you spend the evening kind of like sifting through all of this stuff and come up empty-handed. And what I want to do is jump ahead to the following evening. So is there anything else that you would want to like do it's kind of different from that before the following evening when the Fear Factor show is going to happen?
Well, I do my class, and during
that's Saturday. This is Friday.
Oh, this is Friday. Never mind.
Yeah. So you could probably continue like selling your class.
Yes, absolutely.
I think Ryse hits the casino, but not to gamble, to hit up the people who are gambling. He kind of like what is it? Like takes the spot of like a dealer when no one's paying attention.
Oh no.
And does great. some tricks to, have the house, using quotations, win every time, but he doesn't put it in the house pot. He just puts it in his pocket.
Right. Yeah, okay. I was going to say definitely a situation where you're using real magic to get away with that, but then I remembered that Ryse just always uses real magic. So, yeah. And then is he sleeping in his trailer out in the parking lot?
I think Ryse at this point in his life has a bit of insomnia. And so after he's done cleaning up, I think maybe he goes and gets like an envelope and writes a letter and sends some money to his mom. And then just kind of like, unfortunately, super creepily, he just likes to lurk. So I think he's just gonna like walk around some areas, some places. If someone wants a card show on the street, he'll just do a quick one at like a corner. And I think he just wanders at night, almost aimlessly, until it's almost morning.
Yeah, and this is a little town, so like once the casino crowd breaks up, it's pretty quiet and empty. Yeah, is Illusionista doing anything special?
I think she mostly she does chat up some people at the con. She's gotten interesting and fairly profitable cases from fellow magicians before. So I think she's kind of working on some professional connections. She does try and get herself a free room again.
Yep. You get it.
Fantastic. And I think other than that, she's just kind of like consistently sort of like putting out little magical feelers and just really vibe checking in case there's something she feels like she should be worried about immediately.
Okay. Yeah, nothing. There's just kind of like a general like feeling of dread, and it's hard to say if that's you really picking up on something that's there outside of you, or if it's just your mood. But nothing really clicks aside from that. So the next evening, they are doing I think like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, they're doing like a performance for this show. And if somebody can come up with a better name, please do. But I got Fright of Hand.
I love that.
Yeah, fun.
Fear Factor with magicians. It's like a big deal. Like they've got cameras set up and they're like filming this live. Well, that's not like being broadcast live, but they're filming this show happening. Are you all attending?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
100%.
All right. I guess actually, Giz, you might be backstage.
Oh, I'm providing some of my lizards. That's right.
Yeah. And the spiders.
Yes.
Yeah.
Henry the spider.
So yeah, you're doing some animal handling back there, and
I'm definitely trying to talk up to whatever stage manager there is. Just be like, these lizards listen to me real well. I would be amazing on the show. Just being the handler.
Yeah, sure. And Damien Red comes out and is talking up the crowd and doing his shtick. He's very, very like charming and weird, and introduces the contestants. There's the Wonder Twins with their sparkly outfits. I don't know, a bunch of other just random young magicians. Probably like not necessarily anyone else that you all know. They're up and comers, people really kind of taking advantage of this opportunity to get some name recognition. What do you all think is the first like challenge of the show?
They normally start a little smaller, so maybe like an eating challenge, like
Mhm.
eaters.
Okay. Like bugs.
Yeah. Here's a live mealworms. Eat a spoonful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think this like the Fear Factor stuff is somehow interspersed with like they have to perform magic tricks, or like make something frightening appear, or I'm not sure how the magic part fits in with it, but that's like somehow involved. And
oh, what if they have to eat bugs and then like do that trick where like they're pulling them out of their mouth and they have to pull out like some weird thing? Like
okay.
they're eating beetles and they have to like pull out like a golden beetle or something.
Oh, that's nice.
Interesting. Yeah. I like that. They may be like in teams at this point. I gotta tell you, I never watched Fear Factor, so I have a vague idea of what it was all about, but I don't think I've ever actually seen that show. But yeah, and I think the Wonder Twins are on stage. They are they both women? I don't remember who was annoyed with the Wonder Twins. Okay. Two women who are a magician pair wearing very like bedazzled, I think like tuxedos, and Yeah, they've both put the bugs in their mouths, and they're like doing their like misdirection handwork at that point. And then just like black oily ooze starts spilling out of both of their mouths, like too much, like a broken pipe. Starts like trickling down the chin and then just like pouring out. And they are clearly shocked. Damien is very surprised up there on stage with them, not sure what's going on, but it's like spilling down onto the stage. And backstage, Giz, where's Giz backstage?
He's probably like, if the host is not on stage the whole time, he's probably chatting up the host.
Okay, I think the host is on stage right now, and is alarmed.
Yeah, then
so
he's probably on the side of the stage, like waiting to do the next thing, which is like, bring out a lizard or something. So he's definitely right on the side of the stage.
You notice, like you shift your feet a little bit, and your feet kind of like you're standing in something sticky. And you can see this like black goop oozing across the stage at your feet too, like from behind you.
Oh no. And everybody sees the ooze coming out of the people's mouths, right? Like they're all surprised, not just the performer.
Yeah, I think like initially people are like grossed out, but thinking that it's part of the show, and like maybe still sort of like uncomfortably like sitting through it. Not entirely sure what's going on. I don't think anybody really exactly knows what's going on immediately. But Illusionista and Hypno Boy might know, might have a feeling that this isn't what's supposed to be happening.
Is like the stuff I'm standing in like holding me down to the stage, or is it like no?
No, it's just like you're standing in stuff. Like it's yeah. Like you lift your foot and it's kind of like sticky movie theater floor kind of feeling.
Ugh.
But a little like wetter. And Ryse, this is definitely like you're watching this and like seeing all of the tricks that are going on, and this is not a trick.
Yeah. I think he just instinctually pulls a card since he's asking the question in his head anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Is this it?
It says obviously.
Like,
nice.
All right.
Can I like run out on stage and try and like clap the two twins on the back to try and like get this stuff out of their mouth? Like,
yeah, I think they've like fallen to their hands and knees and are like, it's just like still like pouring out. And I said they were working in teams, so I think there are like two other magicians who were like doing the trick with them, and they're just like standing back, like frozen in shock. Not sure what's going on, but yeah, I mean, you run up, and what do you do?
I'm gonna like, you know how like when somebody's choking, you're trying to like smack them on the back to like get whatever's in their mouth out, type thing. Think that's what he's gonna try first.
Yeah, I think like you do that. You slap one of them on the back, and like they do like cough and spit, and it seems like it stops. And this ooze that had been pouring out of her mouth is still like creeping across the stage, and moving in the direction of the audience. Ooh. And
I think Ryse is gonna hop up then. If he's seeing it's still like moving and they're moving towards them because him and Illusionista are in the audience.
Yeah.
I think he's just gonna kind of look over at her. I'm not really sure what's going on, but I don't think this is a good idea, or I don't think this is good.
You know, I think the best thing that can happen is everyone gets out of here quickly. And I would like to use magic to pull the fire alarm.
Okay. Let's see. Magic to pull the fire alarm. Yeah, I think roll for it, but you're not going to have to like sacrifice any points.
That is a 6, which is both my mind and body score. So.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
So that is succeeding with a negative consequence. Yeah, I think you pull the fire alarm. People were already like at this point starting to like stand up and like people are worried. Pull the fire alarm. I think you also trigger the sprinklers. And the sprinklers aren't spraying water.
Oh no.
Oh no.
It's like more of this black stuff that's now pouring down from above. But people are definitely like on their feet and heading for the doors.
Can Ryse try to see if he can hypnotize this stuff?
Oh, interesting. I don't think you get the sense that it like has a mind of its own. Like it does seem like stuff. That said, like you can try to do anything with magic.
Can I? Okay. Oh, okay. Can I try to see if this stuff is being controlled by another mind? Can I try to suss out somebody else who might have similar powers as me?
Yeah. Let's say I think that this is going to be difficult. One, you'll have to roll, and I think you'll have to sacrifice a point from one of your traits to do it also.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to roll. Do I have to sacrifice the one I roll?
Yeah.
The trait I roll?
Yeah, but you'll roll before removing it.
All right. I will sacrifice mind after I roll. Oh my gosh, I got a 9.
Oh no.
Oh.
That's unfortunate.
Okay, you still lose that point. I'll remove it to magic rather. And like, yeah, you're not connecting with anything. Or maybe just to make it more interesting, like there's something that's not letting you find it. Like you feel like there's an intent there, or a more intelligent force, but it's not letting you get to it. Up on the stage, the second Wonder Twin is still kind of spitting out this stuff. The first one is now like shaking her shoulders and like trying to get her to stop. And more goo is spraying from the ceiling. It seems like it's creeping out from behind you as well, from like backstage. What are you doing?
Well, I want to save the other Wonder Twin, so I'm gonna try to do the same kind of magic that I did a long time ago, with Delilah, where I had her breathe fire, but I'm gonna do it with actual magic this time, but I'm gonna try and get the Wonder Twin to breathe fire to stop oozing the black stuff out.
Okay. Nice. That literally is one of your stage magic tricks. So, I guess that looks like stage magic. I think I'm still going to ask for a roll for it just because you're kind of like combating this stuff. What are you rolling?
Probably body, since it's loud and on fire and stuff.
Okay.
So body. I rolled a 2, which is under 7.
Right.
So
Yes, definitely. Yeah, so you do whatever you do, and this like blue butane flame bursts out of her mouth instead of the stuff, and I think it even like burns up some of the goo that was directly in front of her. So she like breathes out this blast of flame, her eyes like wide in even more shock. Her partner, the other Wonder Twin, I think they're not even actually sisters, but she like screams and
now, girls, you get out of here. It's real dangerous.
yeah, they'll definitely run for it.
All right, you slimy slime. Did it look hurt when it got hit by fire?
I mean, it's not like a creature. It's just like a bunch of goop that's all around. So it burned up, like it cleared an area of it, but it's not like it recoiled in pain or anything like that.
Okay.
And I think Damien is still on the stage as well, like kind of dumbstruck, and he's like, King Gizzard, what's going on here exactly?
Well, I don't rightly know, but it seems to be some ooky spooky ancient presence of some kind. Don't worry.
This is wild.
I have a plan. Sorta. I don't have a plan.
Okay. Let's jump back to Illusionista. What are you doing?
Has the goo hit any, like, it's coming down from the ceiling, has like it touched people yet?
Yeah, it's kind of like, I mean, it's sticky, so it sticks to them. It's kind of like almost like oil dripping down people, but a little slower. It isn't like covering them or anything like that. It's just kind of like there at the moment. But you can see like on the tables, it is kind of like moving, like merging together and like spreading out.
Okay. Does it look like it's doing like harm to anybody?
No, not yet. I mean, everybody is like freaking out, so it's kind of hard to tell if they're actually like hurt or if they're just scared.
And they're like, people are mostly evacuating at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, knowing full well this was a consequence of my own actions, I would like to try and stop it from coming out of the sprinklers.
Okay. Yeah, just what are you doing exactly?
I think she's probably like looking around, trying to make sure no one's super paying attention to her, and then just sort of like waving an arm up at the sprinklers and like doing a little magic incantation, being like, fucking stop it.
Let's roll for it.
Okay. I think this is probably a body roll because I want it to be happening fast.
Okay.
I don't know how intricate it needs to be. Okay, that's better. That's a 1. I like that.
Right.
I like to see that.
Yeah, so what actually you should have done a sacrifice for that too.
Oh, I can.
Yeah, move that point of body to magic.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you like wave your hands up and it stops. And as it kind of stops, like little drips are still coming down from like little tiny leftover drips from the sprinklers. A huge like wave of this black goo washes out from the stage. I think, Giz, give me a body roll to not get like washed off your feet by it. It's coming from behind you.
Okay. Oh no. I rolled a 9, which is above 7.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, Giz and Damien both get like knocked off their feet, and not exactly submerged, but the stuff's kind of like washing up your arms, and it's like rushing off the edge of the stage. And now people are definitely like running for the exits, anyone who wasn't already. And the stuff feels, now that it's a large quantity of it, it feels really bad. Like it just feels deeply unpleasant to be on your body.
Oh, I actually do have a plan. Guys, I saw this on a movie. It was called Ghostbusters. We just need to say positive things to the goo.
Okay.
You are a lovely bunch of goo. We like you a lot. And he just keeps yelling positive things at the goo.
Ryse is gonna jump up on the stage and grab Giz.
All right.
Come on, Giz. We gotta go. Come on. And I think him and he's just gonna try and get everybody out of the auditorium.
Yeah, there's probably like a clog up at the doors. And I think, what's his name? Marcus, the manager, is probably also trying to like get people out, and also figure out what's going on. What's Illusionista doing at this point?
Yeah, she's following, and just anyone who's kind of straying too far behind the pack, she's kind of trying to like hurry them along. Like, let's go, come on, a little bit faster. This is weird.
Yeah. People are like heading off in front of you, and I think the ooze itself kind of swells up in front of you and forms into an almost human shape, and it speaks to you in a familiar voice of Louis Lux.
Oh no.
He says, "Marie, you can't stop this. Don't even try."
Lupus. What are you doing?
Taking everything.
Why?
The way it has to be. And he like reaches out a hand towards you.
I think she's gonna back up very quickly.
And let's say that Ryse, you note, you like glance back over your shoulder and you can see this happening.
I think this might be instinctual, and so I think it's going to cause a sacrifice because Ryse has been working on hypnotizing more than one person at a time.
Uh-huh.
But I think as he looks back, I think it's a reaction out of fear that he sees this goo creature that seems to be reaching out for Illusionista, and while he's like holding and trying to usher Giz out, like this is all like really overwhelming. And I think he is going to basically yell to everyone to, what does he want them to do? I think he's going to ask everyone to like protect her.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that does sound like a sacrifice and a mind roll.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
Let's see how we do.
All right. These do good.
I know. Okay, I got a 3.
Up to you.
All right. And is this like everyone?
I think in that moment he's unfortunately regressed a bit in terms of his control. And yes, when he says everyone, or when I think he really is like pushing it out to everyone, even though he doesn't really mean it. I think he's just saying out loud, almost yelling, protector. And so I think if you're in earshot, you should listen to him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, then I think like Illusionista, you step back and this thing like grows bigger and keeps reaching, and then there are like 3 pair of arms wrapping around the goo figure and holding it back, and like somebody stepping in between you and pushing you backward, who is Ferdinand Featherington, stepping in between you and the thing.
No.
Woo!
Is anything
Most useful the old girl's been in a decade.
That's true. Legit.
Is anything happening to them?
I think the people who grabbed it are being kind of like consumed, like it's flowing around them, wrapping around them, and there are others also kind of coming in behind them, like just this mob of people kind of coming toward you now. And I don't know if you would have heard Ryse tell them to. Probably not, actually, just in the situation you were in.
Yeah. I think she's very confused, but she's going to kind of take, like, she sees people getting absorbed by this thing. And I think she kind of wants, I have a feeling I'm about to make another sacrifice, but I think she wants to just scatter the goo away from the people.
Yeah.
So it can't be like a fully formed thing that's absorbing anymore, just kind of like splatter it across the room.
As everybody's doing magic, just a fan of your characters, I want to remind you, if you can make this seem like a magic trick, and if you can make it work with your magical specialty, it makes it easier or less sacrifice. So if you can shape it in that way, if you want to.
I think she will very dramatically take one of the amulet she's wearing and kind of I think she'll have some kind of realization that oh, there's a lot of people and they're seeing weird things, and there's probably still TV cameras rolling. So she's gonna take the amulet, yell, "The power of Christ compels you."
What?
Throw it at the thing.
Okay.
And let it kind of be absorbed a little bit, and then throw her hands out and with glitter, and she's grabbing glitter from her pockets and throwing glitter out, and as the glitter's going, there's some splattering.
Love it. Okay. I'm gonna say no sacrifice. Go ahead,
had
Tan.
almost the exact same idea that I had.
I love that.
Wow, she is your protege.
That's true. We didn't even realize.
Make a body roll for that, I think.
Okay. It's a 5, which is my new body.
Okay.
No.
So things are getting fun. So it works.
So well last session.
It scatters. Your points are getting lower. You do this whole show. The glitter is cast out, and the thing splatters. I think it gets pushed away from the people. It gets scattered. It like goes maybe bigger than you were expecting and hits the walls, and it like pauses a moment and then pulses and spreads, and the entire walls of the place are now covered with this black inky stuff. And I think the crowd of people now just sort of like gather around you, like guarding you. So you're in this circle of maybe like 25 random people.
Great. Yeah, I think she's gonna, okay, everybody, follow me then back out of the creepy goo room. I'm gonna try and lead her new flock to the exit.
What's everybody else doing? And I guess a question for Tanya, would that like fit in with your hypnotism? Would they like follow her?
Yeah. I think
Okay.
it was yeah.
Okay. What's Giz up to now? I think a lot of people have made it out the doors. Some people are still exiting. You're kind of at that end of the room. At this point, the room is like knocked over tables, black stains on everything, and just like this pulsing goo across the walls and kind of spreading up onto the ceiling.
Okay, I'm gonna expound on the idea that Illusionista had, and the glitter kind of scattered it all, but I'm gonna try and purify it. So
Okay.
I'm gonna take the spotlight that was lighting up the stage, and I'm gonna direct it directly at me and Dolores, right at all of our shiny bedazzlements, and I'm gonna say, "You're no Louis the Illuminator. He believed in true, pure light. I will avenge you, Louis." And I'm gonna try and use magic to like make my bedazzled disco balliness like purify the rule with the spotlight.
Amazing.
All right. Ryse, what are you doing before we like roll that or whatever?
Honestly, I think Ryse is in shock that both Illusionista and Giz are trying to put on a show of some kind in the middle of all this. It's the glitter. He's just kind of like, what is happening? So I think he's just kind of standing there watching them, but also kind of like by the door, kind of helping people get out, but not really.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and do a roll from Giz.
So
what are you rolling here? Is this body? It's got to be body.
It could be body. It's
sound. I mean,
bright
it's
and
flashy. Yeah.
Let there be light. Roll. I got a 3, which is higher than a 7.
All right.
And as the light shines on me and Dolores's black scales reflect in a rainbow of color. And you're like, wow, she's so iridescent.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, it's kind of like a disco ball. Like these little points of light are moving across the walls, and like where the light hits, it's like a hole burned in the black stuff. Like it starts spreading apart and kind of breaking up. I think it starts to kind of like coalesce again in the middle of the room, now in like a smaller, maybe human-like blob, looking definitely like wounded and much smaller and less intimidating.
Does it still look like Louis?
It never looked like Lewis. It was just sort of a shape, like human-like shape. But it sounded like Lewis, and I don't think you even heard that. That was just Illusionista. And most of the non-hypnotized guests have left. And I think Illusionista and her bodyguards are probably at the door now, or wherever you want to be.
We were heading for the door, so yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, I heard it. Look, I purified it.
Great job, Giz.
Thanks.
Maybe shine the whole spotlight on it?
Oh. I mean, that's fair.
Not that, your rainbow disco show wasn't amazing.
Well, but I need to make the spotlight magical somehow.
I don't know, say a Hail Mary.
I don't know. I don't know them Jesus things.
I thought you were from Florida. They teach that in school.
No, we pray to the flag of America.
Okay, so sing the national anthem.
Oh,
And
I
the
know
crocodile
that one.
god.
And the crocodile god. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free?
All right, this thing
And
lunges towards you.
Oh man.
Hates America.
I knew it. As Giz hits the high note, can I kind of like sneakily sneak some magic in there and like as the high note goes, like have the spotlight turn around and like magically shine on it?
On the thing?
Yeah, as it's, lunging because it's anti-American sentiment.
Okay. Yeah, like what is your intent here? I've been assuming it's not just to like light the thing up.
I think the thought process was that magical light did hurt it in some way.
Okay.
So using sort of Giz as my distraction for the trick, turning the light around right at the opportune high note moment and blazing it up.
Yeah, I think let's do another body roll for that.
Okay. Don't fail me now. 2.
Oh, all right. Yeah, so as Giz hits his high note, the spotlight turns, becomes like way too bright. I think the spotlight itself breaks, like shatters, and this goo form just like splatter explodes, and there's like black stuff left over all over the place, like staining the floor and the walls and all of the furniture and yourselves. But whatever magical or nefarious presence was there is gone.
Do I remember the thing I'm not supposed to remember anymore?
No, it wasn't that. You know that much.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe even 5 shadowing.
the 3 Musketeers have done it again.
What have we done? Did you get a TV deal out of this?
No, but we saved the world.
Am I still surrounded by people?
I feel like they've probably like the danger is over. Like Ryse knows that the danger is over. I think they like drift off at this point, not really realizing what they even did. They kind of like one by one walk away from you and leave the room.
I think as they're leaving, I will very loudly say like, wow, oh my god, what did you call this thing? Fright of hand?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll really loudly be like, wow, Fright of Hand really went the extra mile on that scare tactic. Scaring the whole audience was really new. I'm trying to make it seem like, no, this was according to plan.
Yeah. It's going to be a great show. They're never going to live up to this first episode.
This gives me an idea for a movie of creepy stuff on cameras. I bet that the hotel cameras caught the whole thing.
We might want to erase that footage if that's the case.
Oh, we could be famous.
Yeah. I think maybe leave it to the TV editing to make it seem somehow more ridiculous than it actually was. I don't know that the world's ready for this.
I don't know. People are getting more and more spooky.
Well, I think in the like coming days, you've come to find out that the cameras caught like the beginning of the trick and like the stuff coming out of the mouths, and then like something happened and they stopped working. The footage was damaged. There wasn't really anything caught on tape. It seems like it was sort of all chalked up to like some kind of leak in the pipes and something kind of just like it's people have made sense of it in whatever way they can. I think a lot of the magicians are try to spin it their own ways, and they're so used to like tricks and misdirection that they all believe that somebody else was playing some kind of trick here. But nothing much comes of any of that. The convention is shut down for the rest of the weekend while they repair and for the year. This year's convention is canceled. So unfortunately, these young and upcoming magicians don't get to learn from the master how to work with animals.
It's really all their loss.
Yep. What do our three heroes do with the rest of their weekend here in Wisconsin?
I think as soon as it's convenient, Illusionista definitely puts like 2 and 2 together about what happened. So she's gonna corner Ryse and be like, as much as I would like to think that I inspire the loyalty and fanaticism of random people everywhere I go, would you care to explain the sudden like Secret Service level protection detail I had?
Well, you know, magicians are a tight group, you know? Must have saw you were in trouble, and he kind of just pauses for a second.
The look on her face is very much like, are you really gonna do, like, you're gonna pretend you're gonna do this?
It kind of just happened, I guess. I'm sorry. It was an accident.
I mean, I'm not mad. It was, I mean, you accidentally hypnotizing an entire crowd of people to ride to my rescue is honestly, I don't want to say nice because I don't want you to do it again because someone could have died. But I appreciate the sentiment, I think.
Well, try not to get almost devoured by a strange black inky monster next time.
I will put that pretty far down on my to-do list.
Okay.
Do you want to get dinner?
What?
Let's get dinner with her.
Without Giz. We've got a whole weekend. Do you want to get dinner?
Yeah. I have like a lot of money I stole from the casino. So I could pay.
I'm
Okay,
so
but
proud.
I do occasionally, work as a private investigator. So if you could not tell me about the potentially not so petty crimes you're committing, that would be great.
Oh. Right. I meant I won a lot of money at the casino.
Perfect. There you go. It's a date.
Kind of true.
Wait, is it?
I mean, you were actually like playing the games and winning it from people, so kind of true.
Yeah, just as a fake dealer, which is fine.
Yeah, totally. Hey, where does Giz relocate his animal handling class to in town? All the people are still here.
Yeah. Well, I feel like there's a community center.
Okay.
That would be pretty cheap if I wanted to do it there. So I'm going to say the community center. Do it on like one of those like stages that's on a basketball court thing.
Cool. Yeah, I think it's well attended. You get a lot of people who are disappointed that they didn't get to see that your animals used in the show. Yeah, and it goes off really well. And once again, the three of you have completely defeated the evil at the heart of the Grand Merlin Hotel in Wizard Springs, Wisconsin. And certainly there isn't still something lurking within to confront you again in another 20 years.
No.
No, not at all. Never.
Ryse would like to pull one last card as he leaves.
Okay.
This is it, right? Like that was, he's asking the cards. Like that was it?
It says there's always another card to draw.
Oh,
nice.
Cards. Those are the trash.
Immediately runs to the back. I'm so sorry.